Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be doing an activity called Instructions for a Bad Day. So before we begin, we're going to do some quick introductions. So my name is Jimmy. I go by he, him, his pronouns, and I am going to be a senior at Annandale High School.
My name's Deanna. I go by she, her. I just graduated at Yorktown High School and I'm going to be attending VCU this fall.
Hi, I'm Sabla. I use she, her, and I'm going to be a senior this coming school year at Robinson.
Hi, I'm Jada. I go by she, her, and I'm going to be a rising junior at Woodson.
So the goals for this session today is to, one, talk about what it's like to have a bad day, just open up that conversation, then share with each other what we do when we have a bad day. And then finally, just come to this understanding that it's okay to have bad days or setbacks. That's just a part of life. And it's important that when we do have bad days to remember there will also be better days.
So Jada, do you want to share some of the warm-up questions?
Yes. So what does a bad day look like to you? And what happens on a bad day? What do you do on a bad day? So I guess we can go with the first question. Do any of you want to share what a bad day looks like in your eyes?
A bad day for me would be one where I feel upset or something really frustrating happens and I don't feel like I can handle it.
Yeah, I feel that. Also, I guess a bad day for me tends to be just when I lack motivation to do things. Like if I feel like if I'm too frustrated about it, I kind of have a habit of like giving up too early and that like makes you feel worse. So that's kind of a bad day.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I would say I would agree with both of you. Personally, I kind of feel like there can be two different versions of a bad day. It could be like, oh, just everything seems to be going wrong, or emotionally, it could be a bad day. So like you feel really anxious or you feel really down. So what do you guys do on a bad day? What do you do to cope with that? Is there any specific coping mechanisms you use that help you the best?
Honestly, I'm not good at dealing with bad days. I just kind of sulk into it and I go to sleep hoping the next day is better. And I don't know. I'm like the kind of person who just like lets a bad day like be a bad day, and it's like something that I could work on.
I think though sometimes it's important to have like that space to just kind of like give yourself a break though. For me, I kind of try to think of things that are like, maybe if I can't do a specific thing that's like really productive or happy, I might do like a smaller thing, like listen to music or something that's more passive, that's like kind of have it be not so horrible.
Yeah. And as much as I'd like to say that I can handle bad days, they come and sometimes you can't, react in the perfect way. But in times that I can like try and handle it, it's usually me trying to take a second and try and just like hit the refresh button and just move on as if like nothing ever happened and just try and roll with the next thing that comes at me.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
So now we are going to move on and we are going to read a poem by Shane Koyczan. It's called Instructions for a Bad Day. So just hang tight and get comfortable. It's a little bit long, but it's really powerful. There will be bad days. Be calm. Loosen your grip, opening each palm slowly. Let go.
Be confident. Know that now is only a moment, and that if today is as bad as it gets, understand that by tomorrow, today will have ended.
Be gracious. Accept each extended hand offered to pull you back from the somewhere you cannot escape.
Be diligent. Scrape the gray sky clean. Realize every dark cloud is a smokescreen meant to blind us from the truth. And the truth is, whether we see them or not, the sun and moon are still there and there's always light.
Be forthright. Despite your instinct to say, "It's all right, I'm okay," be honest. Say how you feel without fear or guilt, without remorse or complexity.
Be lucid in your explanation. Be sterling in your oppose. If you think for 1 second no one knows what you've been going through, be accepting of the fact that you are wrong. The long drawn and heavy breaths of despair have at times been felt by everyone. That pain is part of the human condition, and that alone makes you a legion.
We hungry underdogs, we risers with dawn, we dismissers of odds, we pressers of on. We will station ourselves to the calm. We will hold ourselves to the steady, be ready player one. Life is going to come at you armed with hard times and tough choices. Your voice is your weapon, your thoughts ammunition. There are no free extra men. Be aware that as the instant now passes, it exits now as then. So be a mirror reflecting yourself back and then remembering the times when you thought all of this was too hard and you'd never make it through.
Remember the times you could have pressed quit, but you hit continue.
Be forgiving. Living with the burden of anger is not living. Giving your focus to wrath will leave your entire self absent of what you need. Love and hate are beasts, and the one that grows is the one you feed.
Be persistent. Be the weed going through the cracks in the cement. Beautiful. Because it doesn't know it's not supposed to grow there.
Be resolute. Declare what you accept as true in a way that envisions the resolve with which you accept it. If you are having a good day, be considerate. A simple smile could be the first aid kit that someone has been looking for.
If you believe with absolute honesty that you are doing everything you can, do more. There will be bad days, times when the world weighs on you for so long, it leaves you looking for an easy way out. There will be moments when the drought of joy seems unending. Instances spent pretending that everything is all right when it is clearly not. Check your blind spot. See that love is still there. Be patient.
Every nightmare has a beginning, but every bad day has an end. Ignore what others have called you. I am calling you friend. Make us comprehend the urgency of your crisis. Silence left to its own devices breeds silence. So speak and be heard. One word after the next, express yourself and put your life in the context. If you find that no one is listening, be loud. Make noise. Stand in poise and be open. Hope in these situations is not enough, and you will need someone to lean on. In the unlikely event that you have no one, look again.
Everyone is blessed with the ability to listen. The deaf will hear you with their eyes. The blind will see you with their hands. Let your heart fill in their newsstands. Let them read all about it. Admit to the bad days, the impossible nights. Listen to the insights of those who have been there but come back. They will tell you, you can stack misery, you can pack despair, you can even wear your sorrow. But come tomorrow, you must wear clothes.
Everyone knows pain. We are not meant to carry it forever. We were never meant to hold it so closely, so be certain in the belief that what pain belongs to now will belong soon to then. That when someone asks you, how is your day? Realize that for some of us, it's the only way we know how to say be calm.
Loosen your grip, opening each palm slowly now. Let go.
Okay, how do you guys feel? Like, what's your initial reaction to this poem? Like, how did it make you feel?
It's comforting and empowering at the same time. I think that the poet used very reassuring words, but at the same time, very gentle and calming words.
Yeah, I agree. I think the speaker was very thoughtful in what they were trying to express through the poem.
Seems like a lot of the words are like relatable, and that like towards the beginning it was kind of more about like the pain and like feeling it and letting yourself feel it, and then towards the end about like being calm, and it kind of ended on more of like a relaxing note.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of it talked about how it's okay to have bad days, like someone was saying earlier. And sometimes we just like need that rest so we can like recuperate and get better. But like the important thing is, like in the poem they said, tomorrow you must change your clothes. So just like restart the next day. So that I found that really powerful.
Yeah, I think one of the main themes is resilience. And it's something we all struggle with, I'm sure, but especially on a bad day. But like Jimmy, like you said, putting on a new pair of clothes tomorrow is a new day. And bad days will happen, but good days will too.
Yeah, I also definitely really liked like one part of the poem that kind of spoke to me was the emphasis on speaking your mind, like communicating how you feel with other people. Because I think a lot of the times when bad things happen in your life and you're really struggling, you kind of assume that you're supposed to like handle it on your own, like it's your responsibility. But I think the poem brought up a good point about how sometimes you can become more powerful by sharing your voice with other people.
Absolutely. And sometimes that might just be the key to making your bad day a little bit better. Opening up to someone and telling them that things aren't okay, things are hard today. Um, but I accept that and I acknowledge that, and that's what makes you more powerful than trying to deny it or push it away.
Yeah, exactly. Accepting it is almost like you're embracing it or you're taking control of it because you're not letting it control you. And so you're making that decision of, okay, how do I want to move on from here?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you guys. And I think that for me personally, it's like still it's like hard to take control of your bad days and like admit that sometimes like you need help or stuff like that. But when we do reach out to our friends and our loved ones, it does feel really good. So with that being said, I'm going to move on to the discussion questions now.
All right, so I guess like on the topic of handling bad days, the first question that we can tackle would be, what are your go-to self-care or coping mechanisms when you guys have a bad day?
I'd say for me, the first thing I go to is the classic rant to a friend, because it's really important to reach out to your support system. And a good first step is reaching out to someone else, especially if you're struggling and you feel like you can't really bring your own mood up. Kind of expressing that outwards to someone who cares or someone who will listen is really important.
I tend to try a few things on my own before I go to someone else. It kind of depends on like, I guess, certain thoughts that are going around in my head or like how badly I'm feeling. Um, but I either bake or I listen to music or something, and that helps me a lot.
For me, if I'm not feeling good, I usually just grab my guitar and I mess around on that, or like I sing or something, and that usually makes me feel a lot better. But when it comes to like more serious like times of need, I try to reach out to my friends and talk to somebody.
I really like how both Jada and Jimmy have mentioned like how like helpful music can be, since I definitely also like use music a lot to like process my emotions. For more serious, I mean, this is kind of an all around thing, like however I'm feeling. I also do art, like I draw a lot. So, usually when I'm having like really, really serious problems, I tend to kind of either make something really sad to like draw something really sad to kind of express myself, or draw something happy to like cheer myself up. It's like, it's nice to be able to create something.
Absolutely. And I think that sometimes when we're at our worst moods and when our emotions are definitely flowing, that can be when we're the most creative. And that can be when we make something that can help us resolve our feelings, like, for example, writing a song or um, drawing a picture, just using creativity as an outlet.
Okay, I think we discussed that pretty well. So moving on to the next question. I mean, I guess like Deanna, you kind of already mentioned this, how, if there's someone to talk to, you mentioned you talk to your friends, but in general, are there people that you guys talk to? Like, I know that I tend to reach out to my older sister whenever I have like certain problems.
I reach out to my mom usually first. We get along really well, and so she's kind of my go-to person.
That's really admirable, Jada.
I know.
Close. So I usually go to my friends just over text first.
It's usually like the same, like two people who have to not deal with me. I shouldn't use that kind of language. It just shows you how I'm conditioned to not reach out to people. But yeah, it's usually like the same friends who support me, and it feels really good when they do.
Yeah, and I'm sure you support them too if they ever do need you. It's
Yeah.
a two-way street.
Jimmy, you know how you said, deal with me is not the right mindset? I agree, but do you guys ever find it difficult to reach out to someone?
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, I struggle so much with that. It's
Oh,
hard.
me too.
It's really hard to reach out to people.
But again,
Yes.
one of the things from
Like,
the
I guess, like, how you said,
was, sorry, Sebla, that it's important to voice your feelings to others, and having the confidence to know that your problems are valid and you can go to someone will make everything 100% better.
Yeah, and I feel like just like us not being able to reach out easily, or like having to break from that habit, it kind of ties in with the stigma that's around mental health. Because say that like you scraped your knee or something, or like you're gonna tell someone like, hey, can you help me, I scraped my knee. But like if you're having like a really really bad day because of like your mental state or something, people are less inclined to reach out. And I think that
yeah,
needs to
there's a
change.
lot of fear of, like, there's a lot of more fear and vulnerability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess then going on to the next question, and the final question. What are some things that you like to remind yourself of on a bad day, just to remember that these kind of feelings are temporary? And, as mentioned before, that there is a better day ahead.
I try to look at the past actually and see like sometimes there's like a lot of bad days in the past. Maybe you like remember the bad days because they don't come as often, or maybe they do come more often, but you can look back and see like that you aren't where you were. Each day you're growing, and each day you're getting through that bad day. So it's kind of almost like a mini accomplishment each day that you get through.
Yeah, I really like that, Jada. Like thinking of bad days as just like accomplishments, and you made it. So that's like even if the day was so terrible, the fact that you made it through is something good that happened.
Yeah, acknowledging your bad days in the past is definitely a really good strategy. One thing that I actually do is kind of looking ahead. So I'm about to ship off to college, and it's really helpful to envision myself in a completely new environment. Like a few months from now, I'm not even going to be thinking about today. I'm going to be thinking about college stuff. Maybe I'll be cramming for a test or something, but I'm going to, I have things to look forward to, and this is only temporary, and I'm going places someday. So
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I also think it can be helpful to kind of think of just even the small thing, like something like small that seems really insignificant, like your TV show or something, like just small things that you can look forward to for tomorrow, just to kind of like let you know that not everything is horrible all the time.
Yeah, one last thing actually I have to say is that being mindful of the good moments is really important, because you're creating more moments for yourself to also look back to on like the good things that happened, and like remembering what makes you happy, because then you can have more of that in your life. And then also, as Deanna was saying, almost look forward to what's ahead of you, and like if you're doing something exciting or vacation or like anything, it could even be like the smallest thing of eating a meal. If you're looking forward to what's ahead of you, then you're also not looking back in the past, because we can also like dwell in the past sometimes. So it's really hard to tell like when to do which, but whichever one like works for you better is what you should go with.
Right, balance is important.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that mindfulness is a great thing to tie in, because if you think about it, a lot of times bad days are made worse by ourselves dwelling on the bad things that happened that day and thinking about what happened over and over again. And maybe something good happened to start out your day, and you're not thinking about that thing, you're thinking about the bad thing. So it's important to realize that it's still, it could still be a good day, and that your thoughts are just thoughts, and sometimes you can just put the thought away and try and be more separated and mindful of what's happening in your head. And it is true that we tend to linger on negative thoughts more than positive thoughts. And again, just trying to be more aware of that can help remind ourselves that this bad day will end soon. Jimmy, you're muted.
Yeah, that's really, I was just saying that was really great, and like thank you for saying that. So does anyone else have anything they want to talk about? Okay, with that being said, I just wanted to close out and say like thank you everyone for coming to this, and that I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, we really hope that you
too.
learned something about dealing with bad days.
And I hope you all try this activity yourself.